This is tonight's remote. Tonight I was Bolsonaro of Brazil, and I want to talk a little bit about what it is like to be Bolsonaro. So there's a couple things going on in Brazil with Bolsonaro that is not necessarily public information. So I just want to document it because it's going to be coming out probably, I would imagine, in a couple of weeks. I try to get the news to you early. The first thing I see regarding Bolsonaro in Brazil is that he could be facing a war tribunal. This looks like a tribunal. And when I attempted to find out information about why he was facing a tribunal, it looked like he could be facing charges regarding what looks like genocide or crimes against humanity against indigenous peoples in Brazil. He could face international charges for this. The first thing I felt as Bolsonaro in order to get control in Brazil was the importance of getting loyalty from the military. There are two ways which I got support from the military in Brazil. The first was by bribing them. So there are people in positions of power in the military in Brazil which have been bribed financially by Bolsonaro. He knew, I knew as Bolsonaro, that if I made friends with the head of the military and if I made it financially worth their while, then I would have the loyalty of the military. And if I have the loyalty of the military, then this is a way that I can control Brazil. So we know that Bolsonaro is requesting not being extradited back to the United States, or back to Brazil, that he's trying to stay in the United States. And there's something here about a possible medical issue. The first thing I want to say about a medical issue regarding this individual is that it looks like a nervous disorder, that he appears to have a nervous disposition, and this nervous disposition has caused some medical problems for him. He has incredible anxiety, that can cause a kind of emotional collapse, a shutdown of his body, his system, from this anxiety. Incredible fear of things, almost like terrors, like night terrors, digestive disorders also. If he lives over the next couple years, it's very likely that he will face charges both in Brazil but also internationally. The main message from this remote is that the international community is very serious about charging him for what he did to indigenous peoples in Brazil. And this is his main concern, even more than anything he could be facing in Brazil. This looks like there's some type of war tribunal or something being set up regarding genocide. I don't know everything he did in Brazil, but this is how I feel as Bolsonaro, what I am most afraid of. And additional information coming out about bribing members of the military in Brazil, becoming friends with the head of the military, but also making sure that they're taken care of financially. How this will end for me, this is, I think, the source of these panic attacks that caused me to collapse. It's a terror that it almost kills me from this terror. I'm a very frightened person. It affects my gut. It affects my heart. I'm a cowardly person. I think his life, this will not end well for Bolsonaro. And I think it's very likely he will face prison and very serious charges internationally. All right, this is tonight's remote, and I hope you enjoyed listening. Thank you.